one of the tools that a lot of RV cooks seem to love is the Instant Pot. I, on the other hand, have been a very slow adopter to this tool. My mom got me this for Christmas a couple of years ago, and it literally sat in the box for a year before I decided to break it out and give it a try. Now that I have tried it, I don't know that I'm as gung-ho as everybody is, thinking it's the be-all end-all tool for cooking in your RV, but it sure does make some things convenient, and it makes a few recipes extra tasty, and I'm going to share one of those with you today. So today I'm going to show you how to make a white chicken chili in the Instant Pot. So to make this white chicken chili, it just takes a very easy ingredients. You're going to have some cumin, you're going to have some chili powder, you're going to have a little bit of chicken stock, you're going to need some cream cheese. I use the reduced fat kind. You're going to need an onion chopped up, and because I am a weekend warrior kind of camper and not a full timer, I like to prep some things ahead of time. And so I went ahead and pre-chopped my onions so that it's easy and I don't have to make that extra mess in my kitchen. You're gonna need a pack of ranch seasoning mix, some black beans, some white beans, some canned tomatoes, and some corn. Now, on the original recipe for this, it actually calls, instead of for just a can of diced tomatoes, it actually calls for a can of Rotel tomatoes. I can't eat peppers, so I have to actually swap that out just for plain diced tomatoes, and I think today I'm actually going to use fire roasted tomatoes to give it extra little bit of flavor. But the reason that I love this recipe in the Instant Pot is that because of pressure cooking it, you get kind of that slow cooked flavor that you would normally do with chili in a crock pot, in the Instant Pot in a much shorter time because of the pressurized cooking. So it makes it super tasty in a shorter amount of time. And by using the Instant Pot, you can put your chicken breast in, which is our last ingredient, totally frozen if you want to. So I love the convenience of that. In case I forget to get something thawed, I can put them in totally frozen, which these are right now. Now I am actually going to do one step that's not in the recipe originally. I'm going to take and use the saute feature of my Instant Pot to saute the onions a little bit. I have found that when you're cooking with raw onion in an Instant Pot, that it doesn't taste quite as great unless you saute them ahead of time a little bit. Now, I have done it without doing the saute step before. It really is fine, but I think this makes it a little bit better. So I've already got my pot on the saute setting. I'm going to spray a little bit of olive oil in there and then dump in my onions. Give those a little stir around and saute those until they soften up a little bit. All right, now that I've got my onions all softened up in the pot on that saute setting, which I've turned off, I'm gonna start putting in the rest of the ingredients. So I'm gonna take my chicken breast, which again, I'm doing mine frozen today, and I'm gonna set that down there in the bottom. I've already drained and rinsed my 2 cans of beans. So I've got my black beans and my cannellini beans, which are white kidney beans. We're gonna dump those in. Then we're going to take and dump in our tomatoes, or if you're using the Rotel tomatoes, that'll of course have a little bit of peppers in it. And then the can of corn, and on the can of corn, you don't drain that. So the corn's going to go in. And then we're going to need a 1/2 cup of chicken stock. I like to use the kind that don't have any added salt. I try to go pretty low sodium on things, so even with my beans I try to get the ones that don't have added sodium. Same with the corn and things like that. And then you're going to add in your seasonings. So we need a teaspoon of chili powder. I'm just going to sprinkle that in. And we're going to need a teaspoon of cumin, which I love the smell of. To me, that smells like chili. Love it so much. And then I know this one sounds weird, and who am I to question the recipe creator originally? But ranch seasoning packet, put it in there, makes it good. So we're gonna dump that in. And then we're gonna stir that around a little bit to make sure that some of the liquid gets underneath that chicken so that it doesn't scorch when you're cooking. Kind of make sure that the seasoning packet stuff gets moistened up a little bit. Obviously it's going to even more once the pressurizing process happens in the Instant Pot. So that all goes in. And then you're going to take that cream cheese that we had, cut it into 6 chunks, and we're going to layer that in here on top of the rest of the stuff. Voila. All right, now we're going to take and put our lid on, and we're going to put this on manual and cook it for 20 minutes. So we get our lid on our pot, hopefully. Sometimes mine is a little finicky. I'm not an expert. Make sure that your little lever there is on sealing. And then again, for me, I'm going to go to manual on my pot, and it's going to 20. All right, so my 20-minute timer just went off, and so now the Instant Pot is on its depressurizing mode. So I'm going to leave this now. For this recipe, it needs to depressurize naturally for 10 minutes. That means you basically leave it be, and you'll see a little countdown here. So once this goes down to 10, then at that point, I'll be able to release the pressure by hitting the little pressure switch thing up here at the top, and then we'll go on to the next step of the recipe. All right, so we have had 10 minutes now of natural depressurizing, and so now we're going to hit the release valve. When you do this, again, if you haven't used an Instant Pot before, there's gonna be lots of steam that shoots up when you do this, so you wanna make sure you use like a long-handled spoon to do that. Make sure you step away from it. And it's gonna look like a steam train there for a minute. As soon as that stops hissing and sending steam to the ceiling, then we're gonna open it up. We're gonna shred the chicken in there, stir it all together, and we finally get lunch. All right, we've got the power turned off. Now we're gonna open our lid. When we take this off, we wanna make sure that we lift it away from us again so that you don't have any steam that comes out toward your base. Set that off to the side. And then now we're gonna get in here with a couple of forks, and we're gonna shred up our chicken breast. And it is just falling right apart. All right, we've got the chicken all shredded up, giving it one more good stir to make sure that the cream cheese is all mixed in, and it's looking really delicious. My cameraman is drooling at the moment and really wants me to scoop this up. So we're gonna get that in a bowl, and this is just a really yummy, yummy chili. And you can put, if you like to put toppings on things, you know, a little sour cream on top or some shredded cheddar melted on top, crunch some Doritos or any kind of corn chips on top, if you want to add those kinds of things. And it's also amazing just the way it is. So I will have the exact recipe. It is posted on my food blog, which is cindysrecipes.com. So you can find it there, and I'll link that down in the show notes. And I'd love if you guys, if you make this, tell me what you think of it. Get down there in the comments, share your feedback with me. Let me know if you like it, what you think of your Instant Pot. I'd love to know that maybe I'm not the only person who wasn't in love with it instantly, but I am learning more and more things that I do like it. I do bring it now with me anytime that we go out in the RV, because there are some super great things that I can make a little quicker than normal, and like this recipe, a little more flavorful because of the pressurization. So if you have a recipe you think I should try, let me know that too. I would love to learn from those of you who do love your Instant Pots a ton, some of the things that you make in yours when you go camping in your RV. So for now, we're gonna go have some lunch, and as always, remember that today is an adventure day.
One bowl is definitely not enough. Time for seconds.